Okay, it's time to move on to setting the width of our wheels on our new car. As you know, we're going to be using some nice aluminum wheels. I've chosen these for the first car. These are the CB Design stock car wheels, 15 by 8s, but I really like the design. I think it'll go well with the car, so that's what we're going to use. And as a guide, I'm using one of the other cars here, and just using our caliper, I'm just measuring the width. Now, this is going to vary a few thousandths from car to car to car, nothing very critical, but on average, as you can see here, I'm looking at about 65.83. You can call it 66, or you can go to 65. It's not going to be that critical, but that gives you a good baseline on how you're going to set your width on your other axles here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. All right, so what I've done is I've installed the tires on the wheels, because when we're measuring that distance, as we showed you before, it does include the sidewall of the tire, so we're just trying to match it up as close as we can get it. As far as the axles go, I mount one here. As you can see, I've got it like a flush mount right there. I install this one first, and I put the other one on, and I got the screw and everything installed. And what I do is I just pull the tire back and adjust the width until I get it right. So now that I've got it right and I've done that, then I can trim the axles. So I marked and trimmed this with my Dremel, about flush the same, and we're pretty good. Like I said, within a few thousandths. Like I said, they're all different. So hope that helps you get your width set. Now we're going to get these installed in the car and move on to the next steps. So now you can easily just measure and trim your second axle to make them match. It's exactly what I did. You can measure, or you can just put them right next to each other and draw a line, but either way, you can get them both fine-tuned about the same length, and you're ready to start installing. All right, well, we've installed our front axle exactly the width it needs to be, and as you can see, there's a lot of free play here, and the way to clean that up is to use shims. Now, Pioneer includes shims in the kit. We're going to see if those will clean it up enough. If not, I like to use aftermarket shims like Slot-Car Corner makes. They have all kinds of different thicknesses, or you can make them yourself. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and shim this up. I'll try to get a good close-up there of how many we used, and then we're going to move on to the rear. All right, so I ended up going with the Slot-Car Corner spacers. I started with 60 thousandths on each end, and it wasn't enough, so I fine-tuned a little bit with a 20 thousandths, and I got it just right. So just perfect and nice free spinning. That's what you want. You don't want any friction there. So that's pretty good for me. Like I said, you can make your own shims. A lot of guys do, so I highly suggest doing that. The shim here, that's from the Pioneer kit. They will work, except for the fact that they're just too tight a fit on the axle. And when you press them on each side, what you're really doing is putting pressure against the bushings, and it stops that free rolling. Now, you could take a file and file these out and make them a little bit bigger, and that would work too. But anyway, these are the shims that I went with. Now we're going to talk about the rear end, but when we do, we're going to talk about gearing as well. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys setting your width and setting a side-to-side pre-play, and now we'll get on to the next step.